Hello! Welcome to How to Grow a Garden with Scarlett. Today I want to talk to you about mangoes. This is a little mango tree that I grew from seed. Now this is the second mango tree I've grown from a seed. Back in Germany I had a beautiful mango tree which I was growing for 4 years. This little mango tree I started the day after we arrived here, which was pretty simple. We went grocery shopping the day after we got here. I bought a mango, ate the mango, and thought, I shall start my new tree. And here it is. So I've been doing some research and looking up online how other people like to take their seed and actually sprout it, and there's a lot of information on how you can start sprouting your seed. In today's video we're going to dive into a lot more than just how to start it. I'm going to talk to you about how to prune it, how to plant it, what kind of soil it likes, obviously how to actually start it, how to get the little root to start growing. We're also going to talk about how long it takes to actually grow a mango before you'll get fruit, and if you can grow it in your house at all. First of all, you cannot grow a mango in your house and get fruit. It won't work. And here's why. A mango tree requires extremely high heat and humidity, and nobody that I know anyway, heats their home to 40 degrees Celsius in the summer and then turns it into a steam bath. A mango really does require that type of temperature. It's a tropical fruit. Now that being said, you can definitely grow it as an indoor plant, which will look beautiful, and as it grows taller you can trim it, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So how I'm getting around this problem is we are going to build a little greenhouse specifically for my tropical trees. So that means lemons, mangoes, peaches, and figs will all live in this tropical greenhouse. And this will be a space where everything is in pots so that I can bring them into the house, or if we put it in the wood stove then I can just heat it. But it will be heated during the winter and it will be hot and humid during the summer, and it likes dry, cool temperatures in the winter. So a home would be perfect. 19, 20, 22 degrees Celsius is more than sufficient for a mango tree. They are full sun lovers, so you want to put them in a south-facing window for sure, somewhere where they're going to get lots of light. And I like to rotate my tree. So as a young tree, it will require a little bit of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. The older the tree, the less nitrogen. A mango tree does not want fertile soil. So if you don't fertilize it at all, or only give it a very, very little bit once a year, it's going to be fine. Now, my tree has a few little dead spots here on some of these leaves, and that's because the tree was too close to the window, and the window was frosty, and so it got a little bit of frostbite here on the end of the leaves. And all I do about that is I simply cut the leaf off. So you can see this one, it's chopped halfway, this one and this one as well, and the plant will continue to grow and it doesn't mind. I could take these leaves off entirely, but because the base of the leaf is still healthy, I'm just removing the part that's actually touched the window and has some frostbite. It is very important that if you are growing in a window in the winter, that you move the plant away from the window at nighttime, because of course in the daytime it's going to be a nice, warm, wonderful place for your plant to be, but at nighttime it's going to be even colder, and that cold is going to chill your entire plant. On really cold days, I've even taken this guy and put him in front of the fireplace for a little while. Not too close, of course, but just enough that he can warm up, and I always water him with warm water in the winter to make sure that the roots are not too cold. You want to crack it open. Cut right along the edge, gently pull it open, and pull out the seed. The seed itself has a fat end and a small end. There's lots of different ways that people talk about doing this. You can submerge the entire thing, you can put it in paper towel, you can put it right into the soil. Stem rot is a big deal for a lot of seeds, and it really doesn't matter what kind of seed it is, but they can always rot. So I would avoid putting it directly in soil. If you submerge the entire seed, there's a good chance the seed will drown. Now you could submerge it for 1 day, 1 to 2 days, just to soften it up. But what I like to do best is the bottom, the pointy side is the bottom, and I just take a tiny little shot glass and put it in there, and then fill it up halfway, and I leave it alone. I put this next to my sink. Don't worry about full sun or anything like that. I just put it next to my sink, wherever my sink happens to be. And in this case, and when I grew that one, it was both on the north side of the house, and I believe even the one I grew in Germany was also sitting on the north side of the house. So it didn't get full sun, which is perfectly okay. I only fill the little shot glass halfway so that the top can breathe and the bottom can drink. And that's really important. You don't want to drown your seeds when you're dealing with any seed, no matter what it is. You never want to drown your seed. This one I started a week, 10, 11 days ago, and it's pretty big. So another thing I like to do when dealing with seeds is when I am watering them, I'll take them out and I'll give them a little wash. And sometimes I'll even take a little brush and wash them off. I don't want them to get gooey or sticky or start rotting. If you place it into paper towel, I also think that that is a recipe for disaster, because the paper towel is moist for a little while and then that's inside a plastic bag, but mildew and mold can develop in there, and also you can forget to water it and you can't see it. In this case, I know the water is going down, I fill it back up. I wash the jar, I wash off the seed, I put it all back. I'm very, very careful not to disturb the root at the bottom, but I can see when it requires more water. So once I've gotten it to this stage, I will let it continue to grow like this for probably another month, maybe even 2. I really want to see that the first root go down and the stem come up and turn around. And before it has its first leaf, I'm going to plop it into some soil. Mangoes like to grow in spurts, so they'll come up about 1 inch and they'll put a whole bunch of leaves out, and then they'll come up another inch and put a whole bunch of leaves out, and another inch and put a whole bunch of leaves out. So right at the very top, there's just tiny little leaves, and they don't look like normal leaves. They come out as itty bitty little spikes that come up, and then they kind of bend apart and then they grow into large leaves. And they're always at the same point. If you want to keep your mango tree small, it's really, really simple. Once your tree is established and it's growing and it's healthy, make sure that you do not overwater. They want moist soil, but they do not want damp soil. They don't want wet feet. They want to be able to breathe within that soil. You want something nice and fluffy. You can always add perlite or vermiculite being the better option, and keep it in full sun. Once your mango is established, you can always cut it off by 1/3. Your initial little trunk in the middle will split and you'll end up with branches. And on just about any plant, dealing with anything, 1/3 is always a maximum. You never want to cut more than that because you're going to stress your plant. And by stressing your plant, there's like if you cut a tomato plant way back, there's a good chance it won't produce fruit because it's been stressed. You can easily keep a mango that's going to be 1 meter or 2 meters height by constantly trimming it and pruning it back. Some interesting facts about the mango tree. A mango is actually an evergreen. Of course, it doesn't look like an evergreen, but it does not lose its leaves, which makes it a very lovely plant to have in your home. So the old leaves will turn a deep dark green, and the fresh new leaves coming out will be almost an auburn or brownish red as they come out. And then they will turn into the light green and eventually the dark green as they go. I don't have to worry that it's got some kind of deficiency going on. It's simply that the leaves are young and they haven't turned nice and dark yet. Your mango tree can grow to 35 meters in height and 15 meters wide. That's pretty big. So something like that I would not be able to put into a little hothouse outside. A mango tree as a cutting versus a mango tree grown from seed. On the negative side, the seed will take significantly longer to eventually produce fruit, but on the positive side, the seed, the plant grown from seed, is going to be a stronger, hardier plant, a hardier tree, and it will produce way more fruit. Another interesting thing is do not get mango sap on your skin. The sap of a mango tree will actually burn, and funny enough, the mango sap will actually burn the mango as well. So when you're picking your mangoes in 5 to 8 years, when it eventually comes off your tree, when your tree has eventually grown mangoes, make sure that when you do pick them, you avoid getting sap onto the mango, because that will burn the mango and cause it to rot much faster than if you didn't have any sap on it. Another thing to remember when growing mangoes is don't overlove them. They don't want too much water or too much fuss. I am going to repot this guy. He's in a very small pot right now, and this was the pot that he's been in since he was about 3 months old. I will repot my mangoes once a year, and every year I double the pot in size, and then quickly the mango tree is going to double in size. So this guy is ready for a new pot for sure. And I can also see that it's ready for new soil. So when I do repot the mango, I'm going to take it out, give it a good cleaning, take a brush and gently remove all the soil that's on there and give it full fresh soil. The soil that is in this pot is going to be all used up. There will be no more nutrients in it, and this little guy will be very happy when it has a new pot and new soil. I'm Scarlett. Thanks for watching. I hope this answered all your questions when it comes to mangoes. You can grow mango if you grow it in a pot keep it in a really hot, warm, steamy place outside, and bring it in your house in the winter. I wish you the best of luck. Toodaloo!